Hey, Brett.
Hey Warren, how are you doing?
Really good, really good. I'm checking my calendar here, and Affiliate Summit is coming up in just a few more days, going to Philadelphia, and I heard you had a ticket.
I do. Yep. My flight leaves a week from Saturday, which is about 2 days from now. So about 9 days from now, I'll be headed there. I think you're leaving a day earlier than me. I'm getting in on Saturday. Are you getting in
Uh,
the night before?
I'm taking the deluxe overnight flight with.
Oh.
Yeah, Spirit Airlines has cheap big seats, and so rather than fly first class, I'm flying in a big seat that feels like first class without any of the service, which is
Oh.
what you need overnight because you know that meal service doesn't work very much overnight.
No, and you're flying from
So
the West Coast to the East Coast, so that's
I
early
will
morning
be,
or a red eye typically, right?
will
So,
be. But hey, what are you doing to get ready to go to Affiliate Summit, and why is it such a great networking opportunity?
right. So, well, for me, this is the first affiliate summit I've been to in about 3 years. I've been to quite a few, but it's been a couple years since I've been. So in some ways, I kind of feel like a newbie going to the conference again. But then again, know lots of people there, and I've been several times before. It's in a new city. It's in Philadelphia this year, the Affiliate Summit East. So not only do I feel new, but it's a city where they've never had the conference before. And I've only driven through Philadelphia. I've never been to a conference or any other event in Philadelphia. I don't know the city or town well at all. So as I'm preparing for the conference, I've got a lot to prepare for. How to navigate around a new city, how to where to stay, how to network, how to stay on top of my game, even though I might be kind of lost in this new city, new venue, and there'll be a lot of people in the same boat that haven't been as well. So those are all the challenges that I'm facing. Have you been to Philadelphia before yourself, or?
I have been to Philadelphia, but I've never been into the city. Landed there a few times and gone to other places in Pennsylvania. And so I think actually suburbs of Philadelphia is where they told me I was going before. But I did get one piece of advice: stay close in to the downtown.
Yep. No.
Apparently, you can go the wrong direction fairly easily. But that's, to me, I just went to a conference and literally did not leave the hotel for days, other than maybe a short walk outside. And so Philadelphia being what it is, and we'll leave that to some other Philadelphia expert. Let's talk about the conference.
Right. So for the conference in general, there's a few things that I always do to prepare for a conference. So there's the basics, like make sure you have business cards. In this case, my business cards needed an update, so I got some new business cards, and they just came in. But have your business cards ready. I've got a new computer that I'm traveling with for the first time, so I need to make sure I've got all the things on that computer that I normally, it's still being switched over from a PC to a Mac, so it doesn't have email on my computer yet. So big thing, I need to make sure that I can talk to people while I'm on the trip. So getting that type of stuff ready. Cameras, video, if going to do that type of stuff. iPads. I'm also in the market for a new satchel or backpack to carry my slimmed down Mac in, as opposed to my old big PC. So, I'm making a number of changes, partly for the time when I get there. I don't want to be carrying around a 20-pound backpack on my shoulder, which is one of those things that sometimes happens at conferences. You want to stay close if possible so that you can drop your stuff off in a hotel for the conference and not carry around all that stuff, because your back, your shoulders will kill you towards the end of the day if you're carrying around
it
a lot
doesn't
of
take
weight.
much to wear you out that way. So I have luggage advice. I've always used a four-wheel briefcase that I just loved, and there's a few out there, but they tend to be really expensive compared to, because if it's at Costco, it's good enough for me.
Yeah.
Kind of a shopper. I don't care about the name brand or anything.
Same here.
But this one I lucked onto. Gosh, it was $50-$60 8 years ago. But it's seeing some signs of wear, and I'm looking at, can I travel even lighter? The laptop's smaller, and I just got a one of those folds in half so it can go through TSA.
Right.
So I've been through TSA once with it. It sure felt good to not have to open to. Boy, I remember back in the days having to open it up and turn it on and pull it out and put it into a bin and all those kind of things like that, which isn't standard now. But yeah, that was wonderful. Just got to remember not to, pack your clothing in the middle of the bag, but it has so many places to stick things. I didn't use them all. So I went for 5 days with the backpack, laptop, iPad, camera, SLR camera, and, changes of clothes. And I think the only thing I'd add is, I could only travel with one jacket on that trip. So I
Right.
figure out what to do. It's another one of the features of Spirit.
Yeah. Well,
taking
that kind of brings
taking
up
a carry-on costs the same as the big seat. So we're going to
right.
try it again.
And that brings up that reminds me of a good tip, especially for a conference like this. Take with you or prepare to buy some packaging or an extra bag, an empty bag to take stuff back with. Now, you don't think of Affiliate Summit for all the freebies. There's sometimes T-shirts and stuff like that, but you might pick up some extra stuff, and you may need that extra space, and you don't want to pay, the extra,
Right.
charges for the airlines. So be prepared to send it UPS. There's oftentimes shipping and stuff like that, or an extra bag.
Sure.
Sometimes I like to when I go to conferences, I like to go running or exercise a little bit too. Now, that's nice for being healthy and everything, but one of the downfalls is that you end up having a bag full of stinky clothes when you're heading back. So I like to take an extra bag to put the laundry in, essentially. Sometimes I'll even just ship that back so that I'm not carrying that stuff through the airport after, workouts and stuff like that. So, but the extra bag for whatever you might get. I mean, I've won iPads at conferences, and I even won a Wii once and had to ship a Wii with a whole bunch of Guitar Hero games and stuff like that back for my conference. I didn't expect to get it. I didn't really need or want it, but it was just one of those things.
When I was a computer reseller, I went to a conference. It was Borland, and all the packages were heavy, big boxes full of manuals that you never use, but they were big old air boxes. And I won the grand prize, and I could barely carry all the stuff that I won. And what a problem that was getting it home. That was back before the days of TSA and as many limits as we have today. Today I'd ship it for sure. Met a guy at a conference once, and I bought a waxer back when desktop publishing was new, and you would still wax the back of the stuff and stick it to something else. And it was a breakthrough price and a handheld unit and a wonderful thing. I remember buying that thing and said, boy, I've got a project I'm working on Monday. I'd love to take this with me. It was, I was driving to the conference, and the guy says, oh, I never carry anything. I ship everything. I ship my underwear, the guy said to me. Found out, yep, he did business in Midtown Manhattan, and he didn't believe in carrying anything with him. So it works. The tip on that is that if you already are a UPS and FedEx user and have an account, you can maybe find something nearby the convention center that's like a third of the price of shipping from the convention center or the hotel. But even at hotel prices, probably cheaper than what airlines are charging today.
Yeah, it really can't be worse. But that's a good point. Now, on the networking side of the conference, there's a couple what I'd kind of consider pro tips for approaching any conference. And in this case, with Affiliate Summit, it's a packed conference, so it's going to be full. They're sold out. There's not, as the few people that might cancel a ticket cancel them, somebody's registering for that spot afterwards. So there's going to be a lot of people there, 4,500 to 5,000 people or so. And some of the venues get very crowded, so you're going to have conversations with people. It's going to be a little on the loud side because it's going to be crowded. You need to make those conversations count. And one of the things that I've found is very useful is to identify what you're going for. Typically, a person's going to be able to offer something, whether you sell it, provide it as a service, or the things that you do to add value to, your existence with other people. And then there's going to be the things that you're looking for. So I don't like to necessarily come up with an elevator pitch unless I'm launching a brand new company or something like that. But I do like to be able to tell people, this is what I do, or this is what I can do for you if you're looking for it. And these are the 2 or 3 things. I try to come up with a short list of things that I'm looking for. So if you know anybody out there that provides this, let me know, because I oftentimes help people network and connect with other people at a conference, as I know you do as well. Sometimes it helps for them to be able to reciprocate to you and help you back if they know who you are and what you're looking for. And that way, when they run into the person after they talk to you, they say, oh, I was just talking to a guy and he's looking for what you provide. And then they can connect you up and they feel good, you feel good, everybody benefits. So come up with a list of 2 or 3 things that you look for from the conference. For example, my own affiliate programs, as an affiliate, I need to refresh a couple things. And I'm looking for some advice from a few of the groups that I work with, ShareSale and a couple of others, on how to refresh the programs, how I might do things differently to improve some of the things that I'm doing as an affiliate myself. I'm also looking for a client, some opportunities on how they can earn some additional revenue through advertising. They've got great content and traffic. They need a new mix of advertising because they pretty much have nothing at the moment. And they kind of fall into a certain demographic, so I'll cover that demographic when I talk to people. I need this and I need that. I need this for myself. I need this for a client. And by the way, I'm a WordPress developer. I help people build WordPress websites. If you need somebody, if you need that kind of help, I'd be happy to help you. So let them know what you're looking for and what you do. Find out from them. Don't just accept their elevator pitch, because sometimes the elevator pitches are garbage. So, it's marketing mumbo jumbo. Find out what they really need. Are you looking for customers for your company? Are you looking for, somebody to build something for you? Are you looking for some, dig in a little bit, find out what they need. That way you can potentially help them and they'll remember and help you if they can. So those are my main networking tips, I think, for the show.
Sure. I take a little bit different approach. I actually started going to Affiliate Summit because when it was here in Las Vegas, easy to go to. I find that I go to things that I'm not necessarily set out with a solid business goal. Some networking, some seeing what's going on, and fast way to learn.
Yeah.
Then when I got, I actually covered it as press, and I've spoken at Affiliate Summit since I, wrote the books about social media, and so it's, a different approach, different networking, different people you meet when you're a speaker, and then finally I got to the point where now I realized what a great networking opportunity it is. I can go in without too much of an idea. I've got clients, I've got projects I'm working on, I've got ideas, and I need new ideas. And walking around the meat market and the exhibits, the expo, first of all, the meat market is unique, and nobody else quite pulls that off like Affiliate Summit for having so many people meet so many people so fast. This just at any trade show, I'd be doing the same thing. Is I'll start off with, I learned what people were going to ask when you go to a booth. They ask you who you're with. They want to find out what you're looking for. If you're not doing dating or credit card offers or something like that, some of them are through with it pretty fast. And I used to be somewhat annoyed because I was an overall marketing consultant who happened to be doing whatever, As a matter of fact, I've got a client right now where we are looking at business credit. So I'll be happy to talk to my friends that are doing credit card offers and see if they've got some tips of where we'd find the people for this little specialty. And, it could be anything. But I found that I get the most good is when I just start telling them things and then see how they react and see what works. It's a great place. If I was I learned this when I was a exhibitor. I would do a pitch over and over again, and I would find out what would get people to stop and talk.
Yeah.
And, and of course, by the way, if you're in a booth, stand in front of the booth, ask questions, and be helpful to people, and don't have any expectation of, hey, are you here to buy my product? Because they're just walking by the booth. Help them and get in the conversation. And it's really hard when you're representing something not to have your product come up in the first 5 minutes. So if you engage the person first, that works. I switch that around when I'm now visiting is I'm looking the same thing to make that connection. If it turns out that we can do business together, great. If not, that's good too.
Yep. No, I agree. And, I've done the same thing when I've exhibited at places in the past, CES, Blog World. I haven't ever exhibited at Affiliate Summit, but a number of other conferences as well. Hone the message and get out in front of that table. You don't have to stay out there all the time, but don't stay static behind your protective barrier of a table where your business cards are laid out and everything.
Sure.
Get out and interact with people, or take turns with the other people at the booth with you. Get out there and change that distance between you and the people that are coming a little bit, because your message will come off differently when you're behind a table. People will passively just listen to you and nod their head and smile, and you might think that the message is going over great. But when you get a little closer, a little more personal, you're past their comfort zone just a bit, and you get a very different reaction. And sometimes you'll be able to tune your message even more because you're having more of a real conversation as opposed to a pitch across a table. And
Well, it goes into what my main theory of networking now is that if you lay out a network, and in any kind of network, in fact, even the internet would be this way, but especially social networks, they try to draw who talks to who and how things get done. And without going into all the examples, there's books on. There's a book called Connected that's very good on this, and how in different aspects of life we're not 6 degrees of separation; it's more like 3, and almost everything happens in there. And it turns out the most successful by any measure winds up being people that are the super nodes, the ones that have the most connections flowing through them. And the interesting thing is, it doesn't necessarily mean I'm doing business with you. It means your network's doing business with my network, and that's the 3 degrees of separation. Yep. And some of that flows back to the principles, but I like to think that there's people that I know that are doing business with people we don't even know about, and it's benefited everyone, because somewhere along the line that means there's more money flowing in our network, there's more conversations, there's more connections, we get more stuff done, however you measure that. So with that approach, I one time went to a trade show. It was just before I started writing books under my name, and talked to somebody that I just read this book. We discussed it. He had nothing to sell me. I had no interest in what he was doing, and vice versa. And we decided, well, we're glad to make the connection. I'll take your business card and something may come of it. Turned out that one didn't go anywhere. But ever since then, I tell what I just told to people. I say, let's stay in contact. Then stepped it up by being a best-selling author and a speaker at the conventions. And like, okay, great, I thought I was doing good. Then I met some people like you who just out there connecting even better than me and going like, conversations are happening. And what I see happening is it's taken offline. If you talk to somebody at a booth and say, I'd like this, I'll get back to you, you may forget. They'll forget to follow up. Sales leads being followed up on are it's atrociously small percentage. And I used to say if they don't call me back in 2 weeks, then when they say they're going to, I get back on Thursday, I'll call you by the following Monday. And, weeks go by and you haven't heard from them. No, that wasn't meant to be. I'll move on. I'm now finding that connection that I want to have, that's going to last a lot longer than the current shopping cycle or next year's budget, is that I want to follow up with that person. So I took to trying to follow up by having more meetings on site. I've tried following up with sending an email before I leave. Another great trick that's becoming almost never used anymore is to send a postcard. You get a stack of postcards, and then while you're in your room at night or on the plane home, you write somebody a postcard saying, glad I met you. The only problem with that one today, you have to try to get a mailing address from somebody. They come out with their email address and that. So, but even an email, the bulk of people, I would say when I'm on my game and following up, I'm reaching 75 to 90% of the people I meet by a follow-up business card, email, that kind of thing. Check them out on LinkedIn, whatever. Follow them on Twitter. I'd say out of those, it's well under half that respond to me talking to them. And then it's, quite perfunctory and it's over. But the good ones are the ones that I meet that way. And gosh, if I wasn't meeting people at a conference, I wouldn't know you.
Yeah, no, that's how we met back in 05 or 06. And I agree. I always look to get a business card if they've got one. I scan it right away and send off a connection to LinkedIn. But I also write on the business card, I'm a what you do type of person. It's just how my brain works. So I always try to, jot down what it is they do or why they do it or what they're looking for or where we may have some common ground to talk in the future. And I try to get that worked into the first email that I send to them so that we can continue that conversation, because if on the first day you might meet somebody great and 3,000 people later, who knows if you
Right.
can remember what that great conversation was about
I'll tell you an
anymore.
affiliate summit story. A couple of years ago, I bumped into somebody, hit it off great. We had a nice chat. They told me what they were doing. I hadn't thought of using that service before or
Uh-huh.
telling a client to use it. I said, this is pretty good. They asked to do a demo. They followed up. They scheduled the demo. I kind of was dragging my feet, not wanting to be there because it was just like nothing I was going to make a decision on right away. I
Yep.
decided to set for the demo. That was great. I loved the company. Made sure I had an account so I could use it. I kept thinking of ways I could use it. This is for something I didn't plan on buying. That part was great. Connected on LinkedIn, connected on other social media. Didn't hear from them again till, like a week ago. Maybe they're preparing for Affiliate Summit. I don't know. And they send me an invite to something. I can't even remember what. I forgot who the company was, and it was back to the same problem. So I'm looking for that balance.
It's
And I think if
tricky.
it's somebody you're going to do business with, don't think that this is something I'm going to get to later. Go ahead and get something on the calendar right away. If they can't do it, make a date with yourself to make sure you do it. And if you could get one good connection that way at something like Affiliate Summit, it's going to pay for, this one and the next one.
Yep.
And
And you're right. It
so
only
that's
takes one really to make it worth your trip. So,
sure.
you're
And
going to
so
meet a
that
lot more
following up
people than
on
that.
every
But
business card, maybe I'll relax a little bit on that, but I definitely want to make the connections because you never know which one's going to pay off.
yep. No, I totally agree. And there's a lot going on through the conference. There's 2 or 3 concerts involved in this particular conference. There's the Affiliate Summit Ball and a couple other things going on. There's networking parties. There's sessions to go to and speakers to see. The meat market. This is several days just packed with lots and lots of things to do. So figure out your schedule. And I agree on the meetings. I try to set up at least 1 or 2 meetings a day, just to have a goal of I need to get there so that I can get the deer out of the headlights look out of my face from walking through a lot of people and focus in on something. Catch a session. I try not to catch too many sessions. I'd love to be able to sit through them all, but there's a lot of things that I do want to cover. So 1 meeting, 1 session, and the networking event. So everything else, then I allow myself the space to float to wherever it seems like the right place to be or the right conversation to be in. Not from a cherry picking conversations, but I just like to go, wherever I can find a good quality conversation and make that connection with someone.
Sure.
So,
Well,
hitting
and
up the
it
blogger
can take one.
press room,
Right.
seeing old friends
You're
there
trying
too.
all these things, but make sure follow up on something. And I'll tell you the best thing I've got going on right now in planning and professional relationships is with a guy I knew, but he was speaking at the last affiliate summit, and we ended up talking for a couple of hours. I then went and watched his presentation. I followed up. I told him which parts I liked. I apologize for falling asleep in his class. And but I really liked what he was doing.
Right.
I had a physical ailment that kept me. I
Yep.
was on antihistamines. It was falling asleep. But anyway, it turned out that we now talk more often, and we're doing a joint venture together. Somebody I'd known for a long time. I wouldn't at the time. I said affiliate someone paid for that, but it was the fact that I could continue relationships. So, I guess let's close with the best advice. If you don't know what to do, if you're totally like us and feeling the deer in the headlights effect, and boy, I don't know if I'll ever get this networking straight. You're like everybody else. This is normal. Come on up to Brett or me.
Yeah.
You can see our faces. You know who we are. Tell us you saw our dumb video and you watched all the way to the end. You're our friend for life that you watched this far. So.
Right. Yeah. No. It's not difficult. Talk to people in the registration lines and stuff like that too. Every now and then, sometimes the registration lines can get a little long at a show because people, there's registration lines every day, but every now and then there's a little rush or a computer goes down or something like that. Try not to get sour because there's going to be big crowds. It's easy to get emotionally a little upset
Right.
after traveling and stuff like that. Use that as an opportunity to talk to other people, keep them calm, make it worth their while to be in that line with you.
Well,
That
and
type of thing too.
I'm looking forward to seeing you. I'm not looking forward to spending a whole lot of time with you because we're meeting other people and networking, and that's the way it should be.
Yep.
Boy, if you're going along with your best bud and you're planning a lot of let's go sightseeing, you're missing out on what Affiliate Summit has to offer. Then again, if you, no matter why you're coming, come on by.
If you are going to
know,
sightsee or something like that, take some people from Affiliate Summit with you. Make it a group outing
absolutely.
where you've got a networking opportunity. Don't and there's a few of us that are looking to do that, going to like Liberty Hall potentially, or going up the steps, the Rocky steps that Rocky ran up. It's all kind of loosely
out there. It's not required when you go to Philadelphia. Yeah, I haven't done it yet. I'm going to have to do that. You know, and I'll give you one more story. I had another friend who flew into the last Affiliate Summit. He let me know because we're good friends. And he came, he got his business done. I couldn't find him. I called. He said, I'm at the airport. I'm leaving already. He got business done and things were better because he flew in and was there for 3-4 hours.
Right.
You know, there are big deals happening. If you don't see it, start asking around about what really goes on. And boy, if it's your first Affiliate Summit, by all means, come on up and say hi, and we'll introduce you to somebody that could help in your niche.
Yep, sounds good. And, you know, follow us on Twitter if you need to, at Warren Whitlock for you, Warren, or at Brett Bum for me. And that's another good way to keep up with people. It's, you know, kind of an obvious one these days with social media, but helps figure out what's going on with Affiliate Summit and connect with other people too. So
I look forward to seeing you all there.
Yep, definitely. Thanks a lot.